What is up, everybody? I am so excited, and I really am genuinely excited to show off my favorite of all 10 custom regional forms I made for my ROM hack. I've got an Alolan Seaking, all right? A dead Seaking. Somebody flushed this poor fish down the toilet, all right? And I am in love with what I did with them. But before I can get into anything surrounding anything at all, before I start showing off exactly how this mon looks and all that fun stuff, I am going to have some quick disclaimers. There's the Goldeen, but again, I'll show that in a second. But first off, I want to make sure that if you don't know what Sweltering Sun is, and I want to, alienate people who are new to the channel or new to the game, check out the description down below. There is a video kind of explaining my thought process behind making this game and how the game works. There's also timestamps down below in the description, not in the description, in the you know what I'm talking about, all right? There's timestamps, okay? You can switch to different parts of the video. The first part of the video is intro, then there is a section where I show off the form in game more in depth and I talk about my thought process and the lore behind it and all that stuff. And then the final section and the longest section will be me explaining how the Pokemon actually works in game, like how you actually use it, in the context of the ROM hack, the tools that it gets, the buffs that it got, all that fun stuff. I think that's pretty much it. Again, links in the description for the documentation for the ROM hack and the download. The download is in the Discord server. All right, that all out of the way. We've got a dead Seaking, and oh my god, I'm so proud of it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wouldn't change a thing. The only thing I wish I could change is I wish you'd see these little. So I made very pale spots. I wish I could make those empty, like a tattered, like a see-through, basically, like a hole. But that's not possible because all of these are just texture changes. Okay, they're not. I can't. I mean, it's not realistic to be able to do model changes for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon right now. It's very limited. But yeah, somebody flushed this poor fish down the toilet, and now it's a ghost. And that's the lore behind it. It's literally that simple. I have some really cool Pokedex entries written in the Discord server you can read. But yeah, this is supposed to look like fish bones, all right? So it's got these fish bone patterns on its belly instead of those weird formless blobs. It's got those tear patterns instead of the eye markings, and then it's got it's basically got a rib cage pattern on its back as well. I'll show it in the battle. But you can see the ribcage pattern, and then one of my favorite parts is the eyes, man. Not only does it have those tears, but it has those dead eyes. I love the way it turned out. Super sick, and the mini sprite looks great. Oh, it's so beautiful. Perfect regional form, in my opinion. I really am. I'm really proud of it. So that's this. Here's the Goldeen. The eyes are creepy as hell, which I like, because it's a ghost type, and it's genuinely it's kind of unnerving to look at, which is good. That makes me happy. God, look at this creepy thing. So, fun fact about this guy, he actually does not emote at all. He's so sad and dead. The only emoting he does is there. Like you see his eyes kind of shift, but that's it. Otherwise, he does not make it. For example, you saw on Seaking, he has those like slits on his eye. Like his eyes will actually emote. Goldeens don't do that. Partially because it's lore, but also because it would have taken way too much effort to do the same thing for Goldeen. But Seakings look good. So yeah, I'm so happy with how they both turned out. I'll show the shinies now. The shinies are based on zombies, okay? So they've got blood tears. It looks kind of like ketchup, but it's blood. And then they're green. So that's it. It's just a zombie shiny. I love the idea of a zombie shiny for these guys because they are undead. So yeah, literally just a zombie. Same thing for the Goldeen. Just a zombie shiny. Pretty solid. And they're ugly, but like they're supposed to be ugly. I mean, it's this gross, nasty, and yeah, that's about it. But I love these guys. Again, it's got those bone patterns. I'm so in love with them. I'm using them currently on my stream run. Hopefully, I mean, by the time you're listening to this, they might be dead or the run's probably over. But if you're listening to this, as soon as it comes out, I don't know where I am in the run because I'm bulk recording these. But yeah, I'll show them in battle real quick, and that's about it in terms of the showcase. The lore, like I said, is pretty simple. In terms of why it's in a Alolan form, I explained this more in the Mighty Enna video. It's like not explicitly Alolan. Some of them are. Like some of them make sense to be in Alola. Other ones is more just like this game just happens to be a ROM hack of Ultra Sun, and I wanted to. Oh shit, my bad. I showed the wrong angle of the camera. Yeah, so you can see the pattern now more clearly on the back and the belly. It looks like a rib cage, on the top and the bottom. It mimics like bones, fish bones. They're kind of like wiry and long. So yeah, here it is. Man, I love it so much. The eyes, man, it's so perfect. I really do love it. The color scheme is great. And it's so much cooler than regular. Seaking is one of those mons that, like, it's so hard to defend its design. It's such an ugly, lame Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... I kind of have a weird soft spot for it, which is why I made this form to begin with. But like, at the end of the day, it's fucking Seaking. Like, who cares, you know? But now you have all the reason in the world to care because he's awesome. You know, maybe you can give this dead fish, this flushed, abandoned goldfish, some love. I actually forgot to name these ones. Subscribe. These are just the names I had when I was developing the forms, and I forgot to change it. So there you go. There's the stupid names. You guys can enjoy the funny names, I guess. Yeah. Oh man. That's pretty much it for this portion of the video. I'm gonna be moving on to the Dues Dex portion of the video, which is where I cover the buffs and changes for this Pokemon and how they function in the actual hack itself. So, I'm already gonna get a million comments all Basque Legion at home. This is Basque Legion. Shut up. I'm kidding. Yes, it's water ghost with adaptability. Yes, it's a fish. I give it adaptability partially because Basque Legion exists, and I thought it was kind of cool to make an homage to Basque Legion, and partially because I just think it fits. Like he's a dead fish. He's adapted to like be dead. I don't know. It's like same shit as like Crawdon. Like Crawdon has adaptability because he lives in like isn't it like he lives in like dirty water or something? This guy, same thing. All right, it's the lore behind adaptability. I was gonna give it Swift Swim, but I kind of just like adaptability more. I like the immediate power for a mon like this. Although Swift Swim would have been really good too, obviously. Although I mean, manual radiance is pretty good in Sweltering Sun because it's priority, so you can bypass taunt leads and you can actually get the rain up. Not to mention there's plenty of mons of drizzle if you aren't playing on team locked. But if you are playing on team locked, it can be a little bit annoying to like it's kind of too much to commit to. Meanwhile, adaptability is just like immediate power, so I just think it's cooler. Not to mention it makes mixed sets more worth using because this mon is incredible as a mixed attacker, especially because you get high base power moves. So this mon gets Ghost Draco Meteor and Water Draco Meteor in Spectral Beam and Hydro Cannon at level 40. Which is really early, so you can use like a really cool mix set. You also, special attack and physical attack aren't that far off, so depending on your nature and IVs, they can be pretty close. For example, mine, the one I'm using right now, is quiet natured and it has like good IVs, so its special attack is like not that much lower than its attack. It's pretty much the same. Um, yeah, these guys are just so cool. So many good options. They're also pretty good utility-wise. Lightning Rod is incredible because in this ROM hack you have access to an infinite usability capsule from the start, so you can essentially switch between your abilities whenever you want to. So, for example, I've been using Lightning Rod quite a bit when I need that immunity. Not to mention the special attack boost can be useful in some situations, but mostly it's for the immunity. You've got immunity to electric, fighting, and normal, which is really nice. And then you've got that adaptability for the Unga Bunga, the raw power as your main ability that you'll be using when you don't need that immunity. In terms of utility outside of Lightning Rod, it has, the typical Sweltering Sun mon stuff like a healing move if you hydrate, debuffing moves like Parting Shot, Water Pulse always drops attack and special attack, Ominous Wind does the same thing. You've got Haze for Totem Pokemon to remove their boost, you got Will-O-Wisp, you've got all types of really nice utility. So it can definitely be a good utility mon, but offensively it's obviously incredible with the Water Ghost typing and those good mixed attacking stats. Its Vizdef is pretty poor, but it's not a big deal when you have infinite use eject button that you can slap on a bulkier Pokemon to pivot your Seeking in for free, or you can use one of its 3 immunities to get it on the field safely. It's not hard, or it's also like got good SPDF still, and it's not like it's paper thin physically, especially if you run some EVs to live a specific hit, which you can definitely get away with doing a lot. For example, my Goldie in 1v1 Hala's Girder, and you would think on paper that mon can't do that. Oh my god, it's weak to Shadow Punch, it's gonna die. Nah, man, like you just gotta, you gotta cook a little bit, but you can definitely 1v1 mons you think you wouldn't be able to 1v1. Which is part of the beauty of Sweltering Sun, is that you can tailor your moves, tailor your abilities, tailor your item choice for the boss fight at hand, and you can use any 6 Pokemon to overcome the challenge, as long as you put enough thought into it. Yeah, you got tons of awesome, you set up moves. Setup is a lot harder to pull off in Sweltering Sun, but you can still make it work. It's not as brainless as it is in vanilla. So you've got Swords Dance, you've got Nasty Plot, you've got Z Camouflage at 36, which is pretty early. That's in time for Guzma and Togedemaru. Not to mention it's pretty good for Togedemaru because you resist Steel and you are immune to Electric, so that's a really good mon. But yeah, it's just an absolute blast of a Pokemon to use. Z Camouflage gives you an Omni boost, and you can change your typing to match terrain. And then you've got Z Acclimate at 47, which changes your type to match the move at the top of your learn set. So essentially, you can use any of your coverage moves, and you can run Z Acclimate, and then you get adaptability boost on top of the Omni boost, and you can become any type, and it's really cool. It's still kind of hard to pull off for some fights, but you can definitely make it work because you do have a good coverage move pool, a solid coverage move pool, which you don't really need too much of anyways, because you've got good dual stab and you've got 5 other teammates. You don't have to hit every single Pokemon super effectively. You can always just switch out and use your other team members. You got high base power physical ghost moves like so Spectral Thief at 29. That's a very highly distributed. Like people might see that like, oh my god, da, 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 da. It's good for totems, but other than that, it's like whatever. It's because AI does set up decently often, but it's not often enough to where this is crazy. Meanwhile, in like competitive, you know, Spectral Thief is a crazy move because setup is an integral part of how 6v6 singles works. But it's not a big deal in this ROM hack. Okay, it's just like strong ghost stab move. You know, because this mod doesn't make sense to learn Shadow Claw or Shadow Punch, which are the other physical strong ghost moves for reliable stab. It does get Shadow Sneak, which is 50 base power, so that's already really good. Not to mention it's a mixed attacker, so you get stuff like Hex and Ominous Wind before you get Spectral Thief, which is nice for stronger ghost stab. Water Stab, it has plenty of powerful options. I'm not even going to get into every single one. But you know, it's got Wave Crash, Surging Strikes, which are widely distributed in this ROM hack as well. If I'm talking too fast, that's my bad. I just recording a bunch of these and I also just talk fast. I don't really know what else to say, man. It's got Hornbill late game, which is like a silly Oko move that has 1 PP and doesn't miss, so it's like a guaranteed kill on something, but it's also taking up an entire move slot. Not to mention you can kill shit regardless, you don't really need it, but it's cool to have. It makes prep a lot easier on team locked, which is what I balance the game around. So if you have a bad matchup, like it can help you a lot. And also it just makes sense to learn the move. That's about it, man. I don't know what else to say. It's got good coverage, like I said. It's got good utility, great offensive utility. It's just a sick one. I'm so... Chef's kiss. I'm proud of myself for this one. I'm proud of myself for all of them, but this one is by far my favorite. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Comment Wave Crash down below if you got this far into the video. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. And yeah. That's about it. That's the last of them. And again, you can play this by yourself. You can play this if you check the description down below. Join the Discord server. You can download this, play it. This Google Sheet is linked right down below in the description. All that stuff you could ever want is all there. Yeah. Again, check out my streams. I do those frequently. So if you want to see more content from me, check that out. Also my other videos. But a lot of my change videos are kind of outdated. I might redo them one day, or maybe I'll do like shorts, but I don't know. Shorts are annoying. Anyways, yeah. Peace, y'all.